going to interpret this very busy picture of the inside of my rubbish bin with using a little bit of texture, and we can go through some of the techniques that have been suggested in the brief, of which you need to incorporate 4. So I'm going to start by capturing that messy, big crumpled up piece in the bin by actually adding down a bit of tape that I was using to mask off edges before. I'm going to see if I can create something a little bit like the texture inside of that bin, and maybe have it trail off the end of the canvas like that. I might build it up a tiny bit more. And what I might do is paint over that with kind of a dry brush scumble. So I've got a clean dry brush. It won't work if it's a wet one. And I'm going to just load it up with paint and then kind of wipe off the excess. And literally just drag over it. And you can see that way you kind of pick up all of the shadows and the negative spaces to create an interesting kind of texture. And it's just white, but you can see a lot of dramatic three-dimensionality in that image there, in that texture. I started with the yellow underpainting because it helps me, I find, in establishing an image rather than starting on pure white, which I find sometimes a little daunting, and backgrounds can become complicated when you haven't put an underpainting down. I might layer on a little bit more thick paint here just to kind of extend that texture out. This is what we call an impasto technique, where you actually put it down really thickly. If you have some latex gloves at home, you can do some finger painting. I do strongly suggest that you use a glove. Do some nice scratching work in there as well. You just don't want those toxic chemicals going through your skin. Might bring a bit of that yellow back through again. It's very fun painting with your hands. Create all sorts of marks. Another fun technique you might want to try is monoprinting. I'm going to capture that large shape at the top of the composition by doing a quick monoprint. The way you do it is quickly paint on another piece of paper with lots of paint. All the texture in the world. And I'm going to quickly press it into my composition. And it leaves some lovely distressed kind of marks behind. It's kind of fun. I might like to scratch into that to see if any yellow marks come back through. So this image really does capture the really messy, random abstraction from the inside of that bin shape. You can drag some of those colours together, get some nice blends. To complete this abstract, I'm going to add another collage element. This time I'm referencing the little fork that's sticking out of the rubbish bin, just for something fun. I've chosen a really geometric shape that I've just cut out of paper, because I think that'll contrast nicely with all of the organic paint and texture that's going on. So I might have that sort of coming through here. And just to keep it in unison with the image, I might do a little bit of paintwork over the top, just to kind of blend it through so that it looks like it belongs. A bit of a blur going on there. I quite like this negative space going on, and I think that that needs to be there to balance all of the texture and action going on in the rest of the composition.